Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and I stopped by a pawn shop, a place I usually don't go, but I saw this and was kind of surprised, and I thought, no way, is that really what's in there? Now, they wanted like 150 bucks for it. I offered him a bunch less. There was a price tag on it that actually had the date. It had been sitting in the pawn shop for months, so I figured two things. One, they would get rid of it, and two, they had no idea what it was. So what this thing is a safe jack set. This is over $400 if you buy it new. Now, I already did a video on safe jacks. I have a safe jack and a bunch of the attachments. I would much rather have two Bottlejacks when I'm overlanding than one high lift jack or some other kind of scissor jack. Hydraulic jack, I don't know. The Bottlejacks are just fabulous. Add some accessories to it and add a second one so you can kind of teeter-totter and you're set. Now, obviously there are times when a high lift jack is really the only thing that's going to work. But honestly, you might run into that once in your life unless you are knowingly going into a situation and you have a vehicle that can accommodate a high lift jack in more than one or two spots. I have two high lift jacks. I've got a tall one and a short one. I never take them anywhere. In fact, I had a roof mount for them. I finally took them off. I thought I'm just not going to use these. I have I have these safe jacks in my vehicles, and now I've got two of them for my overlanding kit. The one that I replaced my traditional bottle jack in my truck with. And now this. Now, what is in one of these? Pop the lid off here. This is actually a set of gear. This is why it's expensive. Now, you may not need all of these things, but first of all, I looked in here. I thought this thing's never been used. I'm not sure it's been opened. Somebody got it, carried it around, but this is why these things are 400 bucks. It's a bunch of stuff. So this is actually a set of washers and threaded rods that's designed to actually bolt the jack onto this plate here, right here, which then you can use for various lifting and stability solutions. Comes with the instructions here. These are the big things. I'll get to this in a sec, the chain, but these plates here, made in the USA, these plates are ideal for raising a vehicle safely. They drop onto here, and then like this one would grab an axle or anything that fits down inside this little trough here. If you want just a flat lifting platform, there you go. This is amazing and not cheap. This thing here is actually an extension. Now, I said two Bottlejacks for overlanding because you can teeter-totter them to try to raise things up. A lot of times you hit the extension, you know, as far up as this thing will go, and then you're out of luck unless you pile rocks or wood or something under the vehicle. Then you drop the jack, raise the jack, and then, or raise the base, and then just start jacking again. But with two jacks, you can zip back and forth. But this thing right here, you can see, allows me to raise the length. So if I went up to the max height here, let's say I was in a depression, or the center of the road was in a depression, that's where I was stuck for some reason, I could literally drop that on, and now I can begin my lifting, you know, over a foot higher than what just the jack alone will do, which, by the way, this goes quite a ways. What else? There's the jacking lever. Here is a short extension that allows you to safely and easily grab another 6 inches or so. Here is a long extension. Now, could I stack these? Sure. However, when you start adding this up, the price of the jack, the price of this piece alone, plus these supports, plus these two extensions, plus the other components in here, and the additional jack, which is more just old, not necessarily used. It's just been sitting there collecting dust. A few other things that can be used for additional jacking accessories or jacking options. So 2 safe jacks with the collars here, which allow these to slide right on. Guess you can't see that. Let me slide it over. There you go. So I've got that. This thing is over $400 if you were to buy it with the, is this set. And they sell it according to the size of the jack. This is a little bit older one than this one. Both of them rock solid. If you look at this, maybe you can see the designs, very similar. These guys are rebranded by SafeJack. That's understandable. SafeJack doesn't make the jacks. You can see this is an Omega Lift. They actually sell a couple of different ones. This is the one I've got. The Omega Lift is actually a solid jack, and the accessories are really where it's at. But the accessories have to safely fit on top of this. So that's where you're paying the extra money for things like the cradles, the extensions, etc. So when you need this stuff, you really need it. And I would much rather have these 2 Bottlejacks than a high lift, a scissor jack, standard. Even like Harbor Freight really kind of advertising the heck out of their Badlands jack. It's a really cool jack. A lot of times that's not going to work. You can't get it under the vehicle, or you can't use it sideways, or however you need it to. It's just too big, too heavy. Another thing with the high lifts, a lot of times, they can be more dangerous than the situation you're actually in. Lots of people have gotten hurt. And there are some great uses for them. You can jack things up and then just shove the whole jack and the vehicle over to kind of move it onto a different platform. You can actually do that with Bottlejacks. Usually you don't have as high a lock on or a lifting point, but you get creative when you need to. But anyway, I thought I'd show you this. If you happen to see one of these safe jacks somewhere used, look them up online, see what you're working with, whether or not this is a good enough one. This one here is a 6-ton. That's plenty for what I do. You're not lifting more than half a vehicle, but I could lift my entire vehicle unless I have a camper on it using the 6-ton, but you don't. You lift up a quarter of it or a third of it or half of it, and then you can get yourself out of the mess. But anyway, I was happy to get a second one because when I go overlanding, I'd much rather have 2 bottles than anything else. And with that, Doc out.